Hey, Glumpuddle here, and wow, what an incredible week to be a Narnia fan. So much has happened, so many announcements. There's a new video with the very first footage, and I don't really have a lot of time to talk about it, so I better just dive right in. First off, at Comic-Con, Mark Johnson said that they intend to release one Narnia film every year, every May. So, annual Narnia films. We already knew about Caspian and Dawn Treader, but now they're talking about the rest of the series they intend to do every year. And let me just quickly say that I don't like this idea. I think that it's just, you look at the Harry Potter films, and I really think that the quality has fallen in part because they pop them out like an assembly line, and they don't really have time to give them the loving attention that they deserve. And so I really don't like doing annual Narnia films. The actors' ages, that's one good thing, but is it really that important? I mean, I know the actors' ages, it isn't really that important to the story, obvious. I mean, it's film, just put up with it, give us fine quality film, spend the time to get them right. And so I don't really like this idea at all. Well, it also means I'll almost definitely do a different director for each film, but we'll see. Moving on, the pictures of Comic-Con of the Telmarine armor are up, and I'm glad I didn't have to wait several more weeks to talk about it. It's one of my favorite pieces of design I saw on set. I love those masks, and I'll talk more about them in the report. I just want to say I love the Telmarine armor. It's a really neat piece of design. JimFan15 went to Comic-Con and gave an excellent 2 reports, and she described the clip they showed there, and a couple of things caught my eye. First off, Edmund waving his flashlight to signal the Narnians. That's pretty cool. I mean, sounds kind of weird, but just at least know the flashlight's in the film. You know, maybe he'll leave his torch in Narnia at the end. We'll see. Susan apparently is kicking tail, according to Jim Fan. And I'm against this idea. It's not because battles are ugly when women fight, C.S. Lewis says in the first one. It's because it's so out of character for Susan. Like, you look at The Horse and His Boy, and Susan was remained behind in Cara Paravel because she hates this kind of thing. And in Prince Caspian, Trumpkin beats her in a shooting match for when they go for the bear. And she just, she's so skittish, she's so out of character for Susan to be doing this. And I talk more about that in the thread, but that's the main reason I'm against Susan fighting. If she wants to fire up a couple of arrows, okay, fine, but don't make like this big Legolas kind of fight out of it, I'd be against that. Jim Fan 15's report adds to the idea that maybe that Reepicheep is going to have white fur. Man, that would bother me. That just wouldn't be Reepicheep. I love the black fur with the gold band and everything like they describe in Dawn Treader. That would really bother me if they did that. It just wouldn't be Reep. Now we can get to the big news. The first footage is online. A production blog at Narnia.com about Ben Barnes. And it's the first time that most fans are getting to hear Ben Barnes for the first time. Very cool. Let me just say I like Ben Barnes. Still not how I pictured Caspian, but I think he's great for the role. I think he'll do a good job. We'll talk about the good stuff first. The costumes and the general look, I think, are awesome. I love this shot where he says, "I'm Prince Caspian." I would assume that it's from when he meets the old Narnians for the first time in Truffle Hunter's Den. And I just love the overall look of it. That's just kind of how I love the firelight and everything. And the whole movie looks like it looks a little bit darker and grittier. I outlined The Witch in the Wardrobe. Even though I said in early discussions that it should have a lot of color, when I saw it on film, at the beginning it was cool to have that explosion of color after all the white. But it almost became overwhelming for a while, almost too cartoony, even though it was a good idea to give it a lot of color. But I love what they're doing in Prince Caspian as far as the cinematography, and the costumes look awesome. And so that's the positive. Also, that shot where it shows this shot here where it shows the Four Heaven Seeds and Caspian, that's outside Aslan's How, and with the stuff behind him. I was standing, I can't actually see the picture in front of me, but I was standing kind of over, behind that thing. I have to walk along that path there right now. They're actually facing Aslan's How right now. So it's really cool to see that again, the place where I stood. And let's see. Let's jump right into the controversy. Caspian fighting Peter. I don't like it. It's ridiculous. It never even really occurred to me. It's the kind of thing we would joke about. Now, that's how it came across to me at first. Now, the most popular theory right now is that they're fighting to decide who fights Miraz. I guess that's not... I mean, I guess that's okay with me as long as it's still a kind of a overall friendly duel. I mean, it looks to me like they're going to be angry at each other. Like Caspian's going to like throw his sword down when he's done, and he's going to be so angry at Peter. And they always want to add conflict in film, you know, as much conflict as possible. So I can see them doing something like that. Now, if I would hope that they're just fencing. That it's just Peter gets there and it's like, hey, let's see what you got. That could potentially add to the idea of the past coming back to help the present, and this figure out of myth and legend that Caspian turned out his whole life. Said, hey, let me give you a few sword fighting tips. Like, okay, you know, that'd be incredible, and so that would be okay. But if you have Caspian who's actually, you know, angry at Peter for something, and you know, I want to fight Miraz, and I don't think they're trying to kill each other. There's no evidence it's just that at this point. But I don't like Caspian fighting Peter. I think it takes away from Caspian's awe and respect of Peter. We'll have to see it in context to see what it actually does. But this shot is alarming on first glance. I'm very uncomfortable with this, unless we'll see what they do. But right now I'm uncomfortable with it. Let's go to the next one here. Okay, let's go to another controversial one. There's something going on here. Period. I don't care what anybody says. Maybe it will be a little different in context to the rest of the film, but in this shot right here, I mean, he's not admiring butterflies in the background. Okay, maybe it's just a moment. Maybe it isn't. But I still don't like this shot. I think there's some kind of sensual tension going on here. Obviously, look at it. I showed it to some people who've never read the books and said, what's going on between these two characters? They're like, oh, there's obviously some kind of romance or something going on right there. I still don't think there's going to be an actual Caspian-Susan romance, but this shot bothers me. I think it's just stupid. It's irrelevant to the story of Prince Caspian at all, and just should not be in there. Hey, maybe this is why Caspian and Peter are fighting. I don't know. Then there's that shot, which I would assume that this is in Miraz's, you know, castle, and Caspian is pointing his sword at somebody. Cool costumes, by the way, still. Very cool costumes. I'll say that again. I would assume he's pointing it at Miraz. Who else could he be pointing it at? And Susan's ready to go, and Peter's trying to look tough. I have no idea what's going on here. It makes me a little concerned. Maybe there's like a scene where Caspian kind of forgives Miraz or something. I don't know. But it's anytime you see a scene that's definitely not in the book, it's like, where are they going with this, and how far are they going to take it? And that's pretty alarming. But that's pretty much all we got right now. Man, what a news explosion. Go to Narnia.com right now. Look at the first footage from Prince Caspian. And I'm really looking forward to seeing it in 288 days. And just an absolute news explosion. Right now, I have a pretty bad feeling about the film after seeing the first footage, even though there's some positives, but there's also a lot of negatives I'm kind of really uneasy about. But I find myself looking ahead to Voyage of the Dawn Treader, May 1st, 2009, and apparently Silver Chair will be a year after that. I'd like to see what they do with Puddle Glum. So if the news keeps coming out at this pace, I'll probably have another video out pretty soon. So keep checking narniaweb.com for all the latest news, and my set report will be up in the next couple weeks, my next one.